This is WBRZ Morning News at 9.
The House is divided for this native Missourian. Good morning, I'm Katie Easter. In less than 2 hours, it's a Tiger versus Tiger matchup. LSU takes on Mizzou. So I'm no pitcher, that's why I took on this job. Are you ready, Keller?
Katie Easter on the mound.
All right. LSU is looking to sweep the series in Game 3 today at 1 p.m. Well, leaving the world of sports now. Starting at the Capitol, the legislature approved that money, but it's not a permanent raise many had hoped for. The House rejected proposals to add a raise to the budget, opting instead for the bonuses, since they were working with one-time money. The head of the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, Secretary Jack Montese, has resigned. The Dome Springs police officer remains in critical condition. Kelly was shot while responding to a disturbance Thursday afternoon. Early voting allowed many to vote last week, but it also allowed officials to catch a problem where 650 voters in Baton Rouge were coded into the wrong district. The two teens, a 16 and 17-year-old, were already booked into East Baton Rouge Parish Juvenile Detention for the armed robbery, which now upgraded to first-degree murder. And people are probably wondering it too. Where do I get these besides stealing them from you today? We are just hours away from the LSU football team taking on one of its biggest rivals. Good morning, I'm Katie Easter. Now, I may have coincidentally wore red several times this week, but I'm in my purple today. The Tigers are in Tuscaloosa for a primetime matchup against the Alabama Crimson Tide. LSU looks to defeat Bama in back-to-back seasons, something the Tigers have not done since 2011. The purple and gold stunned the Tide in 2022 after LSU won an upset overtime victory. During that game, LSU fans in Death Valley caused 2 earthquakes to register on the school's seismograph. Some may ask, how will LSU's depleted defense contain Alabama's offense? Several defensive players, including 3 cornerbacks, are inactive tonight. Now, several true freshmen will take on the task of stopping the Tide's passing attack. However, the Tigers will also look up to the pressure on Bama QB Jalen Milroe, as Alabama has allowed the 4th most sacks among SEC teams. Nevertheless, head coach Brian Kelly says they cannot underestimate Alabama's abilities on offense. LSU is entering tonight's matchup with one of the country's best offenses. The Tigers rank first in nearly every statistics among SEC teams and are first in points per game and total yards nationally. Quarterback Jaden Daniels leads the nation in passing touchdowns and quarterback rating. He's 5th in passing yards. Daniels' performance this season has made him one of the favorites in Heisman Trophy odds. Here's a look at the latest odds per bet MGM. Daniels is 3rd, only behind Washington's Michael Penix Jr. and Michigan's J.J. McCarthy. Daniel also has a chance at making history tonight. Nick Saban has not lost to the same quarterback in back-to-back seasons since 1999. That last quarterback to do that, Drew Brees, during his career at Purdue. We'll kick off for Tigers versus Tides at 6:45 at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. In Lorman, Mississippi, there's will be one SWAC West team in first place after today, and it's either going to be the Southern Jaguars or the Alcorn State Braves. Both teams are tied with a 4-1 record. The Jags offense will face a very talented Braves defense who range between 3rd and 5th in most statistics among SWAC teams. For head coach Eric Dooley, everyone has to be on the same page if they want to come out on top. The battle for the West begins this afternoon at 2 at Jack Spink Stadium in Lorman, or you can watch it on ESPN+. Well, it's a rough season so far for the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Last night, the team lost to the Mississippi Seawolves in a shootout at the River Center. It was still a good game, though, as the teams tied 5 times, but Mississippi's final goal in the 3rd would decide the contest. The loss makes the Zydeco 0-4 on the year, and they'll be returning to the ice on Thursday to face the Columbus River Dragons. In other news, the sun is out and those temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer. Let's check in with meteorologist Baylin Rogers with our 24-hour forecast. Now, some traffic advisories. I-55 southbound closed until 1 p.m. Once it reopens, the left lane will be closed with the right lane passable. Both sides should fully reopen later this month. If you plan to use I-110 this weekend, DOTD advises the center and right lane of the southbound interstate are closed now through noon on Sunday. Also closed southbound off-ramps to Chippewa and North 22nd Street, as you can see here, along with the LA 67 southbound on-ramp. All of this is as crews are taking care of paving work this weekend. So if you're in the area, use caution and be prepared for slowdowns. Livingston Parish Public Schools scheduled several events this week for students, parents, and community members to engage in STEM learning activities, one of which allowed them to observe Denham Springs Elementary STEM program to learn what goes on in a STEM class and how it shapes kids for the future. Animal parents, if your dog or cat needs any food or is not up to date on their shots, today is your lucky day. The Pets for Life program is hosting a free pet food giveaway and vaccine clinic. The clinic and giveaway will take place at the Charles R. Kelly Community Center. Doors open up at 8 and will continue while supplies last. The pet food and vaccinations are free, but your pet must be present to receive the vaccinations. A warrant resolution clinic's also happening right now. The Criminal Justice Coordinating Council's working with several courts to hold the event. This clinic's open until 4. Registration at the East Baton Rouge Parish City Hall is closing at 3 p.m. Participating courts include Baton Rouge City Court, 19th JDC, EBR Juvenile Court, and Baker City Court. Baker City Court and Juvenile Court matters will be handled at the 19th JDC. Well, looking ahead, it's that time of year again. Tonight we'll be falling back an hour as we head into Sunday morning. The time change is going to happen at 2 a.m., so don't forget to set your clocks back before you go to bed. This also means those of us, including me, that did not set our car times will be back on track. Well, coming up here on WBRZ Morning News at 9, we're in celebration of its 55th anniversary. News 2's John Pastrick takes a look at the history behind the song that put Baton Rouge on the rock and roll map.
No motive yet, no suspect. There's still a lot more questions than answers. You can see right here all the glass on the ground here on Government Street.
It's actually business as usual at this Denham Springs shopping center. The only indicator that something bad happened here yesterday is this little piece of crime scene tape over here on the ground. The energy crews, they are out here. They are working very hard to get some of these power lines up. And now bear with me because there is a lot to see, but I am alone out here. So just up the street here, you have this car completely flipped upside down, and then you have a trailer on top of it.
Neighbors tell us they woke up to gunshots this morning.
But it's not enough rain. If you come over and look, you can see where the fire is still smoldering.
It was in this parking area where a woman was minding her own business, going to her car, when a man came up behind her.
There was a concert on campus just moments before. 9 students were shot here. OJJ Deputy Secretary Curtis Nelson defended the West Feliciana facility.
Definitely a very tough day. And as you had said, there were tons of officers out here, not only from BRPD, but of course the sheriff's office and even Iberville Parish. It may be hard for you all to see it, but the sidewalks inside Pelican Crossing subdivision have a little bit of a red tint to it.
Families are out here gathering what little things that they can find in the rubble and what little things that they can take with them. It outlines required training, which one attorney tells me Hammond PD does not have. A leaked email from Peace Officer Standards and Training, known as POST, a state commission on law enforcement, says the Hammond Police Department does not have the certification required by state law to conduct internal investigations on officer-involved shootings.
That was never done during the time that the Hammond Police Department was allegedly investigating the officer-involved shooting involving Landale Jackson.
Attorney Darrell Washington says the department violated Act 418 when it began an internal investigation into what happened on July 15th. An officer related to the chief shot Lionel Jackson, who was unarmed, in his bed during the serving of a no-knock warrant. In the latest release, Hammond PD said they found 600 suspected fentanyl pills and accused Jackson of trying to hide them. The arrest report obtained by WBRZ has limited information.
The chief should at least be suspended pending the investigation. There need to be some serious questions asked and answered. You know, if they were not certified, why were they handling this officer-involved shooting?
I went to the police department to ask those questions, only to be told Chief Edwin Bergeron was not there.
The police chief called me immediately after I left the department, and he told me he's unable to speak to media because he's not an elected official. He directed me over to City Hall to speak with a spokesperson.
But that public information officer was out of the office too for personal reasons. The mayor also unavailable as he was on his way to Florida.
A city council member tells me officers tried to go get their certifications on Tuesday. I've requested all documents pertaining to the certification through post. I also reached out to the city attorney. Sylvia?
Morgan Furshey out on bond Wednesday after turning himself in on several charges, including third-degree rape. The Loranger 7th grade PE coach accused of grooming and raping a male student for years.
Legally, she's raping a kid repeatedly.
George R. Tucker, attorney for the 17-year-old victim, says people knew about the ongoing abuse but didn't speak up.
The mother was informed by 2 teachers, yet no police involved.
He says students, school staff, and a family member, Superintendent Melissa Stilley, knew of the alleged ongoing abuse, but an investigation did not start until the mother of the victim was directly approached in late September, months after the birth, with what, at the time, was a rumor.
It becomes a rumor before it becomes a report. When we're talking about a kid, and the only reason it made it to be such a large rumor is there's a black baby.
School employees violating a state mandatory reporting law, making it illegal for any teacher or child caretaker to not report any suspected or confirmed abuse, including rape. I went to the school system to bring up this violation, but was directed to a statement released on Tuesday.